First question. What song are you dancing to right now?
Not one in particular, but the last like class I taught was to like a Rick Ross song.
Ooh.
Whoa. But yeah, it's so random. I like have just really been letting, you know, that Colors show. I just let that play, and like I'll just like save a bunch of stuff and just find different artists from all over the world, and I'll like do a deep dive into their music.
Excellent channel.
Yeah, I love it. It's cool.
What about
So
you,
cool.
John?
Yeah.
I gravitate towards a lot of clean like artists.
Like they showered. Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah, they have to be smelling good. Nah. But yeah, so my playlist has been filled with like Connor Price.
Yeah.
And ever since like the pandemic, you know, he's blown up, and in the same way, I've just kind of like had him and his tracks on repeat. Not physically really moving. I only choreographed to one of his tracks, but in my head, I've been choreographing to a lot of his tracks.
Ooh, which one did you choreograph to?
Spinning. Yeah. One of his like first pop off tracks.
Yeah.
It's a good song.
Yeah. I choreographed to that, and then had my run while I was in China, and then
That's right.
ever since then, I've just been like thinking about all the other ones I want to hit, but just haven't found the moment yet.
Yeah, one of the questions is what's your go-to move? You know, if people like a little zoom like a bass or something, but yours is a triple bass.
It's either a triple bass or like if the rapper like says like yeah or something like that. I feel like I always do like a throw.
A throw, yeah.
Ooh, that was so
That's
good.
definitely my a go-to.
Yeah. Eileen was saying that this is her go-to, this throw.
Aha. Yeah.
Yeah.
I can see that in her.
Yours is, what's yours?
It's more like I don't want to break the mic, but like
Oh,
oh
wow.
jeez. Sorry.
Felt that
Did
one.
you?
Would you say that's your go-to move?
It's one of my go-tos. I would say probably a throw or a kick or something.
Yes, that too.
One of those two
Yeah.
for sure.
Yeah. It's more of a concept than an actual move, like magic button.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, that's something that I've always played with, and always try to keep something that I enjoy and bring out in certain ways. And I guess to the
Give him the magic button.
Yeah.
what the magic button is really just kind of like a concept of a light switch or a button. So like when you flipped on the light, then something happens immediately. It's not like a delayed effect. So it's like on, off, and then when you press a button or squeeze a button or whatever, touch your body, and like something happens. Or squeeze, like so it controls a completely different body part. So it's like misdirection.
Yeah.
But it makes sense to the viewer, and when you hear it, it's like a visual audio like mix up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So satisfying.
Yeah.
To see.
Because I think that's where I think Bam and I feel like, of course, learning under Bam for so many years and dancing alongside him, I found we have a lot of similarities in our delivery, but a very, very strong difference was our approach to like rhythm and groove. And like I would always like gravitate towards isolations and power, and generate power that way. Whereas Bam would have, a whole different, like, we can both dabble in each other's realms, but like his strength comes from like a lot of like, I feel rhythm and swag and like,
Oh, dude.
Hey,
man.
Coolness.
just cool.
Oh,
Yeah.
Come on, man.
Just cool.
So, yeah. So for me, that's where I like to play, is like the kind of like conceptual magic button animation realm. Yeah.
I love that. I love it when people describe their own dance styles in adjectives rather than technical style terms. Because the average person doesn't know what any of those words mean.
Yeah.
So you said isolation and more conceptual.
Like animation, concepts. Because one of the biggest questions I think I got as a teacher throughout the years was, where do I draw my inspiration from? Where do my ideas, where do they come from? And it's like not from dance. Most of it's from video games or anime or like things that I watch. Like becoming a character I learned through video games and things, like, because I'm not like, I don't have this much power in real life, but if there was a Super Saiyan effect glowing behind me, that's what I would feel and emulate that through my dance.
That is you.
Yeah.
Right? So like I would
Totally
hit
you.
something or like go through my body, like
Oh,
power,
Yep,
So
I see
That
it.
is you.
I was like, when I teach that and people are like, oh, I was like, yeah, that's why I create these like lines, these images and these like effects that aren't necessarily like animation. It could be any type, like from a robot to like water or wind, and you animate the theme or whatever the element is. And I always chose mine from the things that I enjoyed watching and playing when I was growing up.
What is your go-to dance outfit?
I'm
I
kind of
feel
wearing
like, I
it.
feel like I would wear this to rehearsal too.
Yeah.
Just kind of like, just comfy, bigger relaxed pants, you know. Just a, I don't know, graphic tee, classic.
Hat always.
Hat, always hat.
What's your hat preference?
Beanie. No,
Bean?
it's between a beanie and a hat, but definitely like, yeah, just like a fitted or a snapback, you know.
Yeah.
These guys.
Trucker hats.
Yeah.
Anything with like, for me, it would be anything with like a bent brim. If it's not bent, it's a flat cap, then I'll bend it myself. Mostly I think the hat adds the element of like, what is that? Like anonymity.
Okay.
It allows you to kind of like hide your character or just that look alone. It brings off a like, who is this person or what did they have to deliver? And, you know, you don't notice the person until they emit that energy or the moves and let that speak for them. So I kind of like, in essence, I want to delete my identity. Like, it's like, don't worry about my face. The facials is such a big thing. You'll still see half of it, but like eliminating the character, who this is, and just letting the moves speak was a big thing, I think. And I look at a lot of my old photos when we were performing on GRV stage.
Yeah.
You only see like from the bottom half down, which is funny. It's like opposite of what we are today at Kinjaz. But
yeah, that's true.
Only ever half at a time.
Yeah, that's all you get.
You only get half the face. You get a pic.
Next time it'll be like this.
Yeah. Oh, that's good.
Or diagonal.
Yo, no, the guys they did that. I remember they wore half the bandana or something, right?
Did they really?
Yeah, they like wore a hat and then like
course
had
they
the bandana and it was like covering half the face or something.
Oh no, you know what we did do though? There was a Kinjaz video we did where we wore remember the bandana?
Okay, that was
completely over our face.
Completely over the face.
So like a hat and the bandana was just like covering our face. So that was like,
there you go.
That was fun.
I remember seeing that. I wasn't in that, so I watched it. I was like,
this
is a dope look.
Yeah.
I was like, I hope we can continue, but we didn't.
Yeah.
We'll always circle back.
Yeah. The deleting your identity thing, I love that because I feel like I feel more protected. And I can,
it's like a safety blanket.
Yeah, it is. It is.
A little bit.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Oh man, I guess I never cared. I never had the stage fright growing up.
I see.
So I never had a problem just like public speaking or performing on stage. So never really looked at it that way. But definitely like just becoming a character. I always almost like this is like my mask. Yeah.
That's good.
Yeah, that's all.
Yeah.
But other than that, I like to wear shorts. I know clothes is such a big part of like style. Sorry. Duh. Like dance style. Like poppers, they originally had like really baggy pants to allow the animation to kind of like go through the clothes as well. Or the effects and popping. And every style has its garment, right?
Yeah.
So like picking pieces and parts of it and meshing it all together was something that I found a little bit difficult for me because sometimes I would want to do a style that I felt like, dang, doesn't look good in shorts.
I see what you mean.
You know? And I would look at my performance because, you know, we critique ourselves after you create the choreography. And I'm just like, man, that just would not look good if I wore this outfit. So I would always have to swap on pants after I choreograph or something. But initially, like to feel comfortable with it, it's always in shorts.
It also depends on like your body type too. I feel like my torso is a little shorter, so I can't wear certain things. Or if you're taller, like a Larkin, you know, like wearing baggier pants, like kind of just like makes so much more sense than like someone who's closer to the ground than him. But yeah. Look good, feel good, you know?
Yeah. How did each of you first get started dancing, your 0 to 1 journey?
It was when I was 15. So like I said, I mentioned I played ball from like when I was, I think 8 till I was 15, played basketball. And then my brother Sean, which you guys both know, and my little sister, they like dragged me to, when was it? Yeah, their hip hop class, right? Shout out Wilma. She was my first hip hop teacher. And then, she taught like she taught to Like I Love You by Justin Timberlake. I got like the first 8 count. And then I've told this story before. I got the first 8 count and couldn't get the rest of it for the life of me. But that first 8 count, I was smashing it. At least so I thought. And then, I was instantly hooked. And then the owner of the studio was like, hey, you can come join our competition team. And I'm like, I just started dancing. Like, what is it? But I think it's because they needed the
male.
So I just kind of like was like, okay.
I'll do it for 1 8 count.
Yeah, for just 1 8 count. That's it. And then yeah, my sister was already in it, my older brother was already in it, and so yeah, I was just like, you know what, might as well. And then yeah, I just got started. I sucked at every other style like jazz, ballet, all that lyrical stuff, but I took it because I had to. And yeah, I think from there I just kept going to like conventions, and then I think when I turned 18, that's when you like graduate from that dance team, and then I didn't think I was gonna dance anymore after that. I was like, nah, it's cool. Like I'll go to a few classes here and there, and then it wasn't until Gigi Torres, I met her. Well, I was dancing with GRV for a bit, but never took it serious. I was still going to school, and then yeah, Gigi Torres asked me to do like a project, and I met a bunch of people from there, and then I took a break from school, which I'm still on that break, and
Indefinite break.
indefinitely, and then yeah, I think from there it just snowballed into just meeting other people, obviously meeting this guy right here, yeah, and I just started doing my thing in the community and on YouTube, and that's kind of here I am now.
In between, there's teaching.
In between, there's teaching internationally.
Yeah.
There's Boxcuttuhz with Lando.
Oh yeah.
Dang.
There's Mos Wanted Crew.
Oh yeah.
That's funny that you're wearing that hat, by the way. And then GRV, obviously. And then yeah, now Kinjaz. And it's crazy because I feel like me and this guy just like we kind of grew up in the community
Yeah.
into our careers together, which is freaking cool.
That's rare to
Yeah.
be able to, like, yeah, I've had anybody to share experiences with for as long as Bam.
Yeah, we were like kind of a package deal for a little
Yeah.
bit.
All of our travels.
Weirdly, yeah. It was always just Bam and John in Asia, Bam and John in wherever.
Yeah.
Which is cool though.
Super cool.
Yeah.
It was good to have a familiar travel companion. Yeah, felt safe and get to share things. I'm not a lone wolf. I don't care to do things solo.
Especially because it's not just like, oh, we're gonna go on this trip and teach, but a lot of the times you guys traveled and taught, it's like the first time people did that, so there isn't any precedence. So you're really
That
like
was kind of scary.
having a buddy.
Yeah.
Was it?
We slept on couches. Like we definitely are. I think our generation was what the guinea pigs.
Yeah.
Of establishing what the industry is now today. I did quote fingers and couldn't even see my fingers.
X-ray vision. Okay, quote. Yeah.
Yeah. So like where it's developed to where like now there's organizations to help facilitate your travel, your lodging, your food, your per diem, blah blah blah. Things like we didn't think about that. We're like,
Yeah.
oh yeah, that's important.
It was just, yeah.
Yeah. So it was a scary time, but scary for us. I can only imagine for like female companions or like other choreographers. Like it's a whole different ball game. But yeah. So it was important for us to be able to understand where the, I guess, industry was at for this type of work, and then how we can unify with our colleagues to make sure that other organizations and events that come up in the future have a better skeleton to follow or something to look out for, so that the other artists in the future are taken care of. I've spoken to you briefly before to like kind of blacklist some organizations or people who did our brothers and sisters wrong. So like we're having to go through that for almost a decade. Like it wasn't perfect for a long time.
How would you say that whole process has been streamlined or improved since then? Thanks to your guys' taking one for the team early on.
Blazing the trail.
Well, a lot of it is word of mouth, I think.
Still?
It was.
Yeah.
Now there's like a plethora of like when you have social media, you have a backlog of choreographers that you've brought out, and how your event ran, and then your community will like always feed into like, yo, that was an amazing experience, or yada yada, can't wait for next year, and then that just kind of snowballs in its own. And if there's something going on in the back, it may not be shown until future, but best believe you can't hide forever if you're doing some shady stuff in the back as an organizer or an event. Like things like the Me Too movement is going to come up and like shine some light on what's going on in the back. But for us, it's more so just like keeping a tab of like who's accountable for good deeds and bad deeds, and then making sure our peers first and foremost are protected if they come to us and seeking guidance and experience and so forth. But yeah, like I think social media played a huge role. It played the biggest role in helping us create our portfolios, create our own bio. We don't need an agency. A lot of us were self-made in that regard.
Yeah, I would say social media for sure. Because I think it used to be like an email, right? Hey, I mean, it still kind of is like that. And it's like, we've had this person out here before this person. And you used to kind of have to like search like YouTube and see if you can find this event on YouTube. But now it's like literally like, here's our handle and here's our event. And it's like, okay, it's easier
the
to
legitimacy.
Yeah.
And then from those, you just tap into the other artists who've been there, and then you can just verify how their experience was. But that's kind of a chore to have to do. So if there was a source that allowed us to do that, I feel like that'd be like the best thing. But yeah, I was not in the best circles growing up and in high school. But fortunately, I have an older brother who was 2 years older, so he had 2 years in high school while I was still there, and he was on the dance team that was kind of new, the all-male dance team, which I think was originally all-male drill team, changed to all-male dance team to kind of attract more boys to come and join. But at this time, when we were growing up, it was still very like not popular yet.
Yeah.
You Got Served barely came out, and things weren't looking too hot at the moment to be dancing with a group of just boys. So for me, I was like, I'm good. I didn't want to dance. I came from like punk rock, and I came from like percussion and drums. So that's, I guess, still why I gravitate to that type of music. But yeah, he was like, all right, well, I mean, if you don't join, then just come and watch my competition or come support. I was like, obviously support the brother. That competition had like the girl to guy ratio was like 9-1, and I was like, all right, what I got to do to dance and be a part of this thing? I was like, I'll do it, whatever. I'll be a monkey. Like, let me know. But like, all jokes aside, that was my motivational thing, because
that is like 9 out of 10 times what I hear when I ask guys why they started dancing to impress girls.
To impress girls, that was like the easiest in too for a high school kid. It's just like, you don't have to go, to the streets, and you don't have to like do anything behind it. Like, when I was like, yo, I'm down to do that. I've already done the ladder or I've already done that. So let's just go ahead and try the clean way. And yeah, it's just it snowballed. It turned into like, oh, I actually kind of like this. And then I tried to like learn, and I actually ended up being on the street because there's no like real studio all the time. So ended up like getting down with the homies on the street and the basketball courts, wherever you guys find flat land, and then just session and then learn as we go. And that brought me out of high school. In high school, I was like, that was fun. I probably won't continue into college coming from an Asian family. They were like, okay, go find a career path that you enjoy or that you'll find useful. So a lot of us had to juggle. Many people do. So this is not unique, but everyone had to juggle your passion with, some reality backed, education. So in the midst of I watched Bam's not Bam, but like Bam was in GRV in 2007 at Maxed Out, and that was like a local competition for me. So I went to go see it, and I was like, this team is dope, because they had the power that I really loved. But didn't really see, because Crump was just kind of, I think, being introduced more and more. And I was like, dang, they put it in choreography form, like for me to like digest and understand better. So I was really, really intrigued. And that's kind of like what set my journey into like pursuing dance further. And then from there, it just kind of snowballed year in year. And I was doing medical school at the same time.
I remember that.
You were in medical school?
Yeah, I was chasing an LVN license.
Okay, Dr. Ha.
Just nursing, licensed vocational nursing.
Yeah.
So I was chasing that at the same time. But in 2009, we did World of Dance. Fusion into World of Dance, which was my first, I think, experience with like what virality could be, or what it was when I did Out of Your Mind.
Oh yeah.
And that one, like my email was being hit so from, I don't know how they got my email, but like Europe, Russia, all these places. And I had to talk with my dad. I was like, what should I do? I still have like school, but like I can't do that if I'm traveling and doing all these things. And my dad was like, the most rarest Chinese dad answer you'll ever get is like, he's like, yo, just put your school on pause. Like you could always pay to, get into education, but like this opportunity may just go away.
Nice.
So if you're serious about it, you got to run with it and take it as far as it can go. And then that's just like, the rest is history from there. So there it is.
That's so crazy because the Get Out of Your Mind video, I remember watching that when I was in college, and it was the talk of the town, okay? Because I wasn't on
It really was.
San Diego's Team 220 yet. I was in Ascension, like on campus.
Ascension.
Yeah,
Yes.
at UCSD. And so there was like a big college, like our school dance community there, and everyone was like watching it together and talking about it. Someone actually learned it off of YouTube and taught a workshop, and it was called like Jawn Ha Get Out of Your Mind workshop, and I took it.
So you know it?
Yeah, well, I did back then. I know. Like
paycheck?
I remember thinking, like, is this okay?
Yeah.
But it was free.
Yeah. Okay.
So, you know,
Yeah.
but like just the fact that like people liked it so much that someone volunteered to be like, okay, fine, I'll learn it, and then we can all do it together. It was so crazy.
That is wild. I think that was also like my first experience when people were teaching my routine around. I was like, how the heck did you learn it? Like I know for sure I didn't teach it outside of GRV. So yeah, seeing that, and then I don't think it hit me yet that like, hey, that's not good for art industry. If you wanted to, you know, like build on it and create the more opportunities for the artists, like that's taking away their jobs, taking away their opportunities. But yeah, we were so young and hype. I was like, this is kind of cool. This kind of time was until like years later. I was like, all right, I think that's enough. You guys can just hire the actual artist, you know, to teach. But yeah, we were young and excited at the time. So that's fun. And that's exciting to know that you were definitely like affected by it.
Oh my God. I know. I remember it so clearly. It was like the, dum, 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 you know what I mean?
Yeah.
That set, that same set.
Yeah.
With Eric
and it was
Abadi.
like those
Eric
two were my
Abadi.
favorite pieces. So I watched that section over and over and over again.
Wow.
Woo!
Anthony
Okay,
Lewis.
so you guys were my inspirations, and
that's
a lot
nice
of
of you.
other people's that came after you. Who were your inspirations?
This guy.
Oh man.
Oh, you just
Yeah,
you
this
watched
guy.
GRV.
Yeah, I mean, and I've never done that style. Like when I came from high school, it was like, it was very cheer-esque, like sharp. That's why I have my angles still.
Right.
Sharp pictures, sharp angles to hip hop music. And then of course we had to learn
gotcha.
I learned how to b-boy just from like friends and people like that want to teach on the street. And then other styles that came afterwards, and I didn't really know how to blend them all together. Because at the time when the community was first starting too, every set had separated the styles, right? And it was like just a master mix. And it was like, popping and then into
Oh yeah, that's the
this,
popping
into-
piece.
that's a pop. Yeah, exactly. So like I didn't know how to blend the styles, but then when I watched GRV perform again, that was like this first time I've ever seen Crump like choreographed, or at least the energy of Crump, right? The foundation, the concept, and the energy of it. I was like, yo, what the heck? I was seeing so many of the same almost style of like medleys put together. I was like, oh, this is cool. It's cool. I've seen this, before. Yeah. And then GRV came up, and I was like, I'm inspired.
Wow.
That was what made me want to be like, all right, I'm gonna keep going. I'm gonna keep dancing. I'm gonna try out for GRV. Yeah.
Yeah,
So that was,
man.
man. And then ever since then, it was just like, trying to be under his wing, under David's wing, and just like trying to learn more. And that's when it just kept it going for me.
Oh, Bam.
Hey man.
Yeah,
Hey,
I'm pretty sure you've heard that before. Like I've always said that.
Hey,
Bam's been my
man.
guy.
I
Yeah,
appreciate you, dude. I feel like when I first like broke out into the community, a couple of people I was watching were like Sean Evaristo and June Kamado, Lando Wilkins, obviously, like Lyle, like that generation. Because I still feel like there's a lot of people will put us in their generation, kind of, but I just feel like they were like right there before us, and they paved the way, for us to do what we did. Like they were the ones traveling to teach. Lando actually helped me get my first international gig, teaching gig. So it's like, that I feel like in that generation, obviously like Gigi, because she helped me out too. But I feel like that circle of people, which I'm pretty sure you can pinpoint who that generation was. But I would say those guys and gals.
Nice.
It's like a class ahead of
kind of.
like
That's
half a generation.
It's a good way to.
But we would definitely consider them like the generation before us. But it's really more so like, they're upper class.
Yeah.
They were like
There
the
you go.
seniors, and you guys were the freshmen.
Freshmen. Absolutely.
But same school.
Same school.
school.
Yeah, I guess that's a good.
What's something that you struggled with when you first started dancing?
Just the confidence. I feel like because I jumped in at what I feel like is a late age, 15, right? Because there's kids doing it even now. Like back then, same
4
thing.
or 5.
Yeah, like
Jeez.
my sister was one of those kids. She started at 4, I think 4. But yeah, I kind of got thrown into, like I said earlier, that competition team. Like it was just like, hey, join our team, even though you don't really know how to dance. But I would be at the same like conventions as guys my age. Who had been dancing for 10 plus years already, right? And it's just like they were so good and so like flexible, and like I just wasn't any of those two. And so I just feel like the confidence to be able to like enjoy the class. I feel like I enjoyed the class more like when I was in the back hiding or like at home practicing the choreography.
What do you think changed things for you?
I got better. No, yeah, I think that's what it is. I just
Built that confidence.
got better, and then built the confidence. I like just believed in what I was doing. Learned from other people that it's really like your choice to like believe in what you're doing, and if you don't believe in what you're doing, then no one else is gonna believe in it. So I'm like, yeah, you're right. And so it's just over time. I think just kind of it takes time.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think I would say confidence.
So surprising. You're so confident. I mean, actually, maybe not when you were starting because I didn't know you back then.
Yeah.
But from what anyone can see, I think people would be like, oh, wow, you struggled with that too?
Yeah.
Oh, it's super true.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
What about you, John?
I think it was just the transition for me from who I actually was, and not who I was. I'm still the same person, but like what I did on a daily basis to like translate that energy into dance and having that like make sense and fit for me. And yeah, just kind of like changing my circle of friends, as well. And then so I think that was just kind of like the biggest thing for me, is just like kind of having to convince myself that this is what you want to do. Yeah. This is better for you, And it wasn't difficult because I'm thankful for a really, really strong family. So whenever I went home, it was like really easy for me to just be like, yeah, this is what you should be doing. This is way better. I think that was just my struggle, was just kind of like believing in a path that probably wasn't presented to you at the beginning, but you can make your choices and switch gears.
You created that path. Really, you created that path because it didn't really exist before.
My brother, he introduced the path.
Oh yeah.
But definitely, I made the decision to step through the door. But I mean, I feel like even till this day, I have that same mentality of being like, no matter how many years I've been doing something, if I want to pivot, switch, gears, make cookies, I could do it. I just always wanted to be like, I'm a capable person. I can, if I lost my arms, can I still be involved in dance? And then if I'm passionate about it, it's like, yeah, you could be a director, you could be a consultant, you'll find a path, find a way to be involved in your passions and things that you love. You just gotta, like Bam said, you gotta believe in you, because nobody else is gonna believe in you more than you. Yeah, people can't believe in you more than you believe in yourself. So I think it starts there, and I was fortunate to like have that mentality to be like, yeah, that's good.
So the dance industry, like the teaching world, performing world, a lot of parts of the dance industry have developed since then, but it's still not perfect. What do you think the dance industry is currently missing?
I would say every like part of the world has its holes, and they're not all the same. But if we were to fix something here at home, what would you think, Bam?
I'm trying to make you answer the question. Oh man, it's a hard question. I think like in the industry, like entertainment, like artist world, again, I don't have like the most experience in that. In terms of like I said, there's people there that are constantly touring with like huge artists, and at least let's just say in the States, right? Like you watch, even watching Coachella performances, you're just seeing the same group of people, which is great and amazing for them. But I'm not part of those circles, so it's kind of hard for me to answer that question in terms of what like that side of the industry needs.
Or dance as a whole.
What
do you think dance is missing? Eileen said education. On like foundations and etiquette, and Ben said like systems for protection for rates and like kind of what we talked about, like
but
insurance.
That's kind of like Dancers Alliance, right?
Mm-hmm.
They're kind of protecting rates in that sense.
You just you gotta seek it.
Yeah.
You gotta forfeit your percentage
for
that protection. But that's how agencies work. That's how and now I guess you can discuss whether or not the rate makes sense or is fair enough, but teach their own in that regard. All right, I'll spitball an idea.
Go ahead, John.
In terms of not our dance like community, because that's a different thing, but the dance industry, what I think most people are blind to, they don't really see, and our numbers on social media don't reflect the same value that the industry would probably pay us for. I mean, that's what a lot of marketing companies are looking at when they look at your social media, right? They balance the worth and all that stuff in regards to your numbers, but that doesn't reflect our experience and what we have to offer, our portfolios and things like that. Maybe more a uniformed way when we land a job to utilize our experience a little bit better and sell it as a package. Because when it comes down to like C-pop, K-pop, J-pop, any of the pop, like for music videos that we would choreograph for, we would be kind of a third or fourth party out of the finished product when our experience actually, we're around our media team. We know what type of shots are good. So if we get more involved in the creation of our work, it would allow us to have something better to, I think, be proud of in like end result, as well as like for a live stage performance. I don't just drop. I think this comes from like a very recent job I had. You don't just drop choreography on them, but you dictate whether or not they have a hand mic or a head mic so that the performance can look a certain way. But when we're disconnected from that, like the industry has so many different groups for like, oh, I'll hire the choreographer, I'll hire the studio space, and then everyone has their own departments. So there's like a big conundrum of like,
it's almost like too many chefs in the kitchen. When the person most responsible for the end aesthetic, like any end movement that ends up on a screen or on a stage, is actually the dancers. Choreographer, dancer, creative.
Choreographer, dancer, creative. Yeah. The person, like if you're hiring them for the job of it, like it's a physical outcome. Then it's like, you don't see what I see. So I don't know, at least work with me. So
that's what I mean by like a lot of people in and around that aren't in dance, but around dance even if they're not like as removed as like, investors or other people, they still don't get it. Because I think both of those things you mentioned, like your following doesn't get translated, it doesn't get monetized properly because they don't see dancers necessarily as like personalities and influencers or artists. Because like it's not, and then the second part too, where you're like the dancer versus like you're the co-creating this whole look. I think people need like an updated version of what dancers really do. Updated reality.
And I like, oh God, it's hard to point. There's no way to point fingers because the dancer, they're a mixed bag, and there's no one path for anyone because they're a mix of an athlete, an artist, and
producer,
creator, producer, director. And like when it comes down to like a dancer, I kind of try to divide them up and describe the roles of like choreographer, dancer, and teacher. Like those three. Just there's more, but like those main three, being one doesn't make you good at the rest. And we've heard this in different ways, but that's always been the truth. You can be a great choreographer, but not know how to teach what you've created and not be able to perform it as well as other people, technique wise, and vice versa. You could be all three or two of the three, yada yada. But like when you see that on social media, it's just like it's hard to discern what this person's strengths are.
So there needs to be like a standard, like a general standard.
Because
should be
because like if it comes down to it, there's no platform for dancers or just artists in general to show their strengths, right? Their stats,
like a
resume, like a thorough resume. And we could upload our videos and just to prove what we've done in our work and a way to validate that. That's something that's missing because right now social media is kind of like just like post whatever you want to post anybody and
just a
everybody can have an
library.
account.
Yeah.
No one needs, and then the verification process on that is like, what the heck is that?
It's not even.
Yeah, we've been doing what we're doing for, like I said, however many years, and we don't even get a blue check.
Yeah.
So I was like, am I not who I say I am? So things like that is just like, yeah, those things that exist currently are not in place for our industry.
Yeah.
And we don't have anything for our industry yet.
Yeah.
That really, really pushes the envelope in that way.
Yeah.
So
I hear you.
I don't know.
I guess people just need to do their research. You know what I mean?
Yeah, but
Know
people
where
are
things-
lazy, bro.
I know. Well, then maybe that goes with what Eileen said. Then maybe like education on more so just not just like foundational whatever styles and all that stuff, but like, well, you know, there's hip hop history. There's all this history in the different styles of dance, but like what, you know, our generation has created and kind of like just this whole world. There's so much history in that too, and I think that it'd be great if there was just more education on that.
Visibility.
Yeah, visibility. There you go. Good.
Hence this podcast.
Good. Oh, hey.
My ultimate dream in dance.
My ultimate dream in dance is to only do it until I don't love it anymore. We were kind of talking about this outside before we came in here, but and also or going off of what John was saying, like how you were saying you can pivot at any moment in your life. However, it's really hard because you've dedicated like so much time and you know effort into dance or into this. But like I don't know, the older you get and the different seasons of life that you go through, like you can feel different ways, and it's like okay to feel that way. I feel like there's like always pressure from the outside or even within myself to like no, like you gotta dance, like you have to dance, you can't do anything else, like come on, like you know. But if like I'm happy doing, I don't know what that may be even, but if like dance is not like feeding you or just like if it just doesn't, if it's not giving you anything, like for me, I'm not gonna force myself to like continue to do it. But every time I do that or I get close to like okay, I'm done, somehow it like makes its way back and I get inspired by something else. And it's not even like going to a dance class. It could be something random where I just completely disconnect from dance. And then I'll either miss it or I'll get reminded of something that dance has brought me and it'll kind of just bring me back. And yeah, I don't know. Somehow I keep getting pulled back in, which is great, which is a good thing. But when that day comes, or if that day comes where I'm like, I'm done, then I'll allow myself to let that go.
Yeah, and in some ways that is honoring how much you love it and the journey that you have had instead of trying to like keep forcing it.
It's true.
And also having faith in yourself that whatever you choose to do besides dance is going to be just as fruitful. Yeah.
I feel like there's a lot of untapped potential in like all of our peers that have been doing it for so long. I was like, oh, you know how to move these groups. You could look at some pop groups to be like, damn, that could have been a lot better.
Yeah.
I wonder who created that, who directed that. It's like, well, not my problem, you know? And I was like, dang, when you can see something like that and you have the power to just like snap your fingers and make it better, it's just a missed opportunity. And it's such a shame.
You'd be a consultant for a K-pop
Exactly.
label. Yeah.
Exactly. And yeah.
Like, and their, I guess, like portfolio, like their roster groups.
That's something that Lando's doing right now.
That's
This is
right.
true, right? And I was like, beautiful.
Beautiful.
This dude
What
has
a great match of his talent.
Yeah. I was like, dude, you don't have to move. You can move when you want to, you know, but ultimately, like, your mind is the valuable thing right now.
Yeah.
So there's so much inexperience coming into the industry. It just needs experience. It just
And
begs
like
for it.
the leadership and command.
My ultimate dream in dance is for me to, in the same way, to just have to do dance and not worry about getting paid for it. You know, I just want to dance because I was like, I'm good at this.
Yeah.
And this is fun, and I don't care if I get paid or not. But right now, it's kind of half-half, you know. And it's like it rightfully so. It's the thing you pour your life into. It's like a career, right? You just otherwise you're wasting time. So I just want to be able to be in that place in life where I can just appreciate dance and not be pressured, you know, by the outcome. And right now, I think the one thing that's keeping me in the game, or you know, my ears to the ground, is like I've been saying this nobody moves like me yet. And that's, oh, wow, that sounds bad coming out of my mouth.
No, it's true.
Oh, dude.
I wish people would just say those things, well, as long as they're true. But yes,
Right.
go off, King.
Unless, like someone can give me reference. And I'm not going to take it in, any aggressive way. If I don't know, I just don't know. But like someone to like almost take the pedestal for me to be like, I can watch them and be like, dang, this is being carried on, in a dope way by like the youth. Not peers, because we've been around our peers, and so of course we influence each other some way somehow. But like the youth, the ones, the next generation coming out, it's like who's gonna like carry this like powerhouse, isolated, animated style, or whatever. And I was like, dang, I don't see anybody yet, But I'm a fan of like insane movers, like Ren. He's an insane mover, animation wise, popping wise. Melvin, insane movers. But I was like, nobody moves like me, man. So I was like, damn, do I gotta keep doing it so I can see something and be like, that was tight?
Do I have to inspire myself?
Yeah. Well, the reason why I move the way I move is because I like it.
Yeah.
I'm not trying to impress anybody else other than myself. I mean, when I look at it, I'm like, that was tight. And that's just how I create, and that's how I've always, I guess I was like, if people like my stuff, that's why I continue to do what I do. And so thankfully people vibe with my style and all that stuff. So as a creator and artist, I've always like yearned to see like it be passed on. And here and there's sprinkles of it, but still like not enough for me to be like, it's in good hands. Like this particular style. I think that's what's
your legacy
me.
to be passed.
Yeah. And it's not like I need a student to pass on the exact same like replica, but just like anybody within this range. Because right now it's like kind of in a swag
era,
which is dope. Like I said, I love watching it. It's fun to watch, but I was like, dang, there's this void. Like nobody has really filled that. So I was like, anytime I create a piece, I'm just like, all right, put it in everything that you want to see, and hopefully it like sparks somebody out there. But it's I think where the crutch comes from and why it's not really seen as like it's not easy. I think Bam and I have moved into a niche where it's like, yo, the way we move, it's pretty. You got to train to move at that speed and with that power and deliver it in the same way, and then same
precision,
thing, like
and technique.
So I was like, dang, we haven't been part of like a collegiate community group in a minute, So I was like, it's hard for people to train under us. And, so
that's true.
Yeah. I don't know, but it's like I'm not putting out there for people to like try to do that or anything, but it's just like that's why I've been like kind of like there's a void, and I was like I'm not seeing it anywhere, so I just like continue to try to do that for myself. Is like to see it. If I was like, I would love to see somebody do like this to this song, because I've seen it done so many other ways. And I was like, nah, nobody's doing it. All right, I'll do it, and that's what keeps me coming back for the most part as a creative, other than the monetary part of it all.
At least for now.
For now,
later it'll be all voluntary.
Yeah. So there's my dream. Is to be able to just do it, not because of the money. And it's good. I love it.
The very last thing is to just quickly shout out all of your communities. It's a big focus of our pod. So your communities past and present. Everyone from Mos Wanted to Kinjaz to to babies and
shout out Jawn.
What?
Oh no, yeah. You know what? I'm gonna shout it out from the beginning. Shout out to
Miss Wilma.
To Wilma. Shout out to the Talent Factory and Chino. What's up, Miss Andrea? Shout out to GRV. Shout out to Mos Wanted, Boxcuttuhz, of course, Kinjaz. And also shout out to my family. And if we're talking dance, shout out to obviously my parents, but like Carissa and Kuya Sean for dragging me to that class, for just kind of showing me the way, Kuya Sean for introducing me to GRV. Almost like tried out for like TM and a couple other teams. Not saying that there's anything wrong with that, but just I found a home there. Yeah. So shout out Jesse.
Ooh, that's me.
Oh my God.
And
yeah.
Ooh, nice.
Hell yeah.
Yeah, save the best for last. I get it. John.
Hell yeah. Dang. Okay, going back. Shout out to Alhambra High.
Oh yeah, Don Lugo.
Don Lugo. Sorry. All good. Miss Crawford. yeah, for putting me under her wing. She did not know anything about hip hop, but she's like, yeah, I'll give you a platform.
Nice.
You know, and that was all we needed, you know, as young youth, hot-headed youth. And then yeah, shout out to oh my God, I don't want to miss any teachers. So all my teachers, oh my God, I feel like it's a disservice not to name them. There's so many.
I'll put them in the captions. Well, you can send it to me later when you can think about it.
Oh, hype thing. Just gonna shout it out because they're making noise versus style. Oh man, Miss Funk.
The best. Yeah.
Yo, she was one of my first teachers out of high school.
Really?
That's really rekindle that passion for me.
For hip hop?
Yeah.
Nice.
Hip hop, yeah. She was my she taught me more house, popping, yeah, a lot of funk. And her husband at the time too. At the time. And her husband as well. They were there at the same time.
Yeah.
So shout out. Y'all killing social media right now too. So that's dope. And then shout out to my teams, GRV, for taking me in. David, you gave me the chance, bro. I think I was submitted late or I came in late and he's like, it's all good. Or something like that. He gave me a chance.
Yeah.
And then shout out Mos Wanted Crew, brothers. Shout out Kinjaz, the kin, you know.
Yeah.
Shout out to congratulations as well, and shout out Steezy. Shout out Jess. Everyone in the dance, industry trying to push the envelope forward for us all. Shout out to you guys. Thank you for giving us a voice and a platform. Yeah.
Woo! And to
shout out to family.
Right.
Family.
Yeah.
Of course, that is my purpose, my whole being.
plug your cookies.
Oh my God.
Show them your mini
In my
figurines.
I don't know who put these in my pocket, but there's little cookies.
I thought they were Chips Ahoy.
I know. Well, I mean,
They
it's still a
look
cookie,
like-
but
they
yeah, they
look
look like
really
Chips Ahoy,
good.
right? Shout out Magic Cookies.
Magic
Magic
cookies.
Yep,
Fire.
yep. Shout out my family. They're giving me purpose and solidifying why I'm here. So,
Shout out Kinjaz noodles.
Kinjaz noodles.
What else?
There's so
The
many
most
things.
random.
It's the most random things.
Yeah.
Heck yeah.